Hey everybody, this is Mario with Dragon Ball Z Card Strategy. This is going to be one of our local tournaments. We're going to have Cliff, a fella visiting with a bunch of other guys, to come play here at our local tournaments versus good old James. That's Orange Adept Gohan versus Blue Tag Cell Jr. That's actually a first for our little channel. They're going to be rolling to see who goes first. Now, he did go with a blue tag build, so he's going to be, of course, going with the heavy ally build for Cell Jr., most likely.
It is. I thought it was going to roll over. Close.
Okay, the opening rolls are completed. James White wins the roll. He'll be going first, draws his 3 cards. Looks like he's drawn 1 physical block and 2 physical attacks. It's not quite enough to be able to hit Anger to transform. Remember that rule, of course, when we talked about the blue tag rule? Before you made any actions in your own first turn, allow your opponent to go ahead and choose their ally and let him bring them into play before you do anything else. Cliff here actually makes a superb choice. He brings out Zarbon. You may remember Zarbon's unusual effect. That is, every time you take damage from a physical attack, you're allowed to raise a player's anger. So you can go ahead and simply raise your own anger by taking damage. Not even life card damage. It works on stages.
On a 3-card hand, you know what I'm saying? I can see that because then you have essentially a...
James debates the merits of his hand with his opponent.
At that point.
He's a good
I know
sport.
I'd win. I'm pretty sure I could win. But
Only James would tell you, I could totally wreck your face with 3 cards. Don't even think I couldn't. But he goes ahead and avoids the temptation. He goes and rejuvenates a card, holds on to most likely Gohan's Power Punch, and he goes ahead and ends his turn.
I know.
Cliff begins his turn. He draws his 3.
Right now, and I can get close. I just don't think I could quite yet.
I don't blame him. It's difficult to make a 3-card hand work as far as offensive stuff. Okay, good old stretch kick goes into play. Everybody knows this card is a setup which you place into play. It becomes a 5-stage physical attack. And it also raises your anger, which is pretty awesome.
You did exactly what I did, too.
Okay.
It's alright. That's what I forget, too. That's what I get for playing at home so much. Well, that's what you get for playing blue, and you go, oh, the hell.
So Cliff does the same thing. He ends his turn, rejuvenates a card, holds on to 1. James begins his turn, draws his 3. Looks like he's got, I want to say, 2 blocks and 2 Gohan's Power Punches. So he is going to be very close to taking off. The hard part here is he'd have to make sure one of those lands in order to pull out good old Disaster Drill in order to begin his combo. Oh, he's going to chance it. Okay, combat begins. No one entering effects. Cliff draws his 3 in response. He draws, unfortunately, something that's not as useful. Looks like he drew 1 single dead card. He drew a Cell Jr. ally. Unless he has some way to bring it in from his hand.
That means it does. That attack gains hit if you control 2 or less drills.
He's going to go explain Orange Adept. Sort of a neat idea. You remember that one? The first orange style attack that is successful against your opponent, gains hit, pull a drill from your deck and bring it into play.
And it's going to be 80, which I am.
Okay, he uses level 1 Gohan's physical attack, which can banish an ally, and he does. He banishes Zarbon with the immediate effects.
Oh, no, right below E, so you'd be so that'd be 2, so 4 life and 1 stage.
Okay, pretty significant. With their stages such as they are, be 4 life cards in damage and 2 stages. He ran into some endurance, was able to take the 4 life cards of damage with just 3. Okay, that hit effect does go off.
Here's the interesting thing. I can go for that.
James is going to go ahead and search his deck for a drill. He's got several different strategies. He could adopt a defensive posture there with check-up drill. He could, of course, get Disaster Drill and let loose and start trying to level after this one. I'd say Disaster Drill is more in order than anything. No, he doesn't know, of course, Cliff's hand is not so good.
No, I think I'm going to have to go with the meat and potatoes in this deck. I have to go for that Disaster.
That's right. Now, Disaster Drill, of course, is pretty neat. That's a drill that says all your styled attacks raise your anger 1 level, so every time he throws one, he's gaining an anger. And you remember, of course, Gohan's power always converts every card to be a styled attack. So, like Gohan's Power Punch is the equivalent of Orange Gohan's Power Punch. Okay, and remember that this effect is in play going forward. Everything he throws starts raising his anger automatically. It's kind of reminiscent of the Saiyan Empowered Mastery.
I can see how that could work. Well, I lose all my drills anyways when I level, and I only get to choose 1 to take back. So
you could always opt not to cut your opponent's deck if you choose not to.
I can understand.
Just generally speaking, they're required to offer it to you.
Action.
Cliff has the opportunity to go ahead and respond.
I'll go ahead and use Cell Junior's physical attack. I'm going to discard Cell Junior from my hand, so make it unstoppable for 4 stages.
4 stages. Ow, it's unstoppable.
Search my life deck for a
Uses
card.
that one cell ability to go ahead and make an unstoppable physical attack by, discarding this card from his hand, the Cell Junior from his hand, and he's able to go ahead and pull out his setup automatically. Actually, no, that is a drill.
Whenever I rejuvenate an ally, destroy the top 2 cards of your opponent's life deck. Whenever I play an ally, rejuvenate.
Ooh, he's got a mill effect going on, the one I was expecting.
Using. Okay. I have a cell mill then. Okay, yeah, I have one in my backpack too. It's a restored cell. Actually,
Mine's tag.
oh, is it tag?
It's kind of
It's really kind of annoying. It mills very well.
They're talking, of course, about the newer version of Cell that can be used as a deck destroyer, the kind that, of course, destroys cards to the top of your opponent's deck.
With a first of your opponent's turns, turtles to make it even worse. That's fantastic.
Okay, so that, of course, was Cliff's action. Now it's back over to James. James he has a pretty significant physical attack. This one, of course, can only be stopped.
Can only be stopped by a physical combat card.
Can only be stopped by a physical
AC
combat
plus
card.
5 stages, and if it hits while you're angry.
Ooh, my.
So it'll be.
It's going to be a good hit.
I am now in C, and you're in C as well.
And this one, of course, is effective. It does hit Cliff.
8, 9.
He hits it for a 9-stage physical that upon hit.
Because we're both in 1, so that was C6, C7. Yeah.
9 stages.
9.
And then, of course, would automatically lower his anger 3 levels upon hit, knock the Cell Junior quite to 0.
Yikes. That was not fun. I don't have any anger.
I know.
We'll go physical attack, loot skid. At the end of combat, I may reveal the bottom card of my life deck. Reveal the card as an ally and may play it, so it's for 4 life cards.
He's going to throw a little 4 life card physical and hit James, who thankfully had 4 endurance on a single card, and leaping punch.
Honestly, because that would have been so much funner. Gohan's power punch. Raise my anger 2. So I go up to 3, and then I'll raise it another for disaster drill. 18 plus 5, and now you're in A, so see the A.
So he's not able to actually get that one to get the unstoppable leveling effect of Gohan's power punch because it didn't raise his anger high enough in the one action, but that's quite alright.
It can be stopped, though.
However, he does have to take it, and it's pretty significant damage. It's probably going to crit him something fierce. Yo, yeah, there's your crit. There's your 5 life cards of damage.
Yikes. That was not fun. We'll go physical attack. There's only 1 level. For 5 stages.
Okay, he uses, of course, good old stretch kick, hits
second Gohan's power
James
punch.
for 5 stages.
The anger from the disaster drill first to level me.
Okay, he's going to go ahead, like we said, any effects that would happen at the same time, you can choose the order in which that they would occur. In this case, he uses the effects of Disaster Drill, and then Power Punch raises anger 2 levels, so he's actually level 2 with 2 anger, but he still gets, of course, the unstoppable plus 5 stages of damage.
E to A, so that'll be 5. Yep, 5. Yep, 11. Yep.
So 11 power stages of damage. This, of course, was one of the keys to this particular deck, that it has such significant stage pressure that most decks simply can't keep up. It also isn't necessary for it to build up a wall of drills. James has found ways around that, using, for instance, the Mastery and Gohan's powers to generate the extra stage damage. Okay, it's close action. Oh no, he passes. Goodness. Okay, remember Gohan's level 2 powers. You may ditch any style card from your hand to go ahead and pull out a styled physical or energy attack card from your life
The
deck.
option is very easy. What I need to grab is what I grab off of that.
Okay, he's going to grab Orange Extension.
Do I grab the disaster drill? Do I grab the
James and I had a game recently where we had this exact same question about what card to pull.
very important questions?
These are life questions.
They're very life questions. You know, I'm just going because if you don't attack, I'm going to go right back in.
There we go. Of course, Cliff passes.
Passing again, I'm guessing. Yep. definitely have performed the criteria.
Now, orange extension's immediate effect, of course, is to go ahead and grab the drill. Now, this means, of course, that he's still in the process of using his immediate effects. So, if he should search, for instance, a disaster drill or a checkup
Then I'm
drill,
gonna grab.
checkup drill allows him, when it comes into play, to be able to pull a block from his deck, a style
But I
block.
think.
So it can combo and help you to get out of bad situations.
It's the one that it pulls a non-continuous drill. So it's going to be AT plus 2, 3, 4 stages. 9. So it'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Another 9-stage physical comes through. Pretty significant damage. I don't think Porklift's going to be able to hold on to his anger.
Critical. Okay. Lower your anger. Bash after use.
Good thing extension's banished after use. It's a bit much.
I'm going to pass as well.
Okay, combat ends. At the end of combat, of course,
We do our that before we do that. So you would rejuvenate your
banished ally.
yeah, and you choose because you still have that one that you play that checks the bottom of your deck for an ally and then plays it. So what you do is you go and rejuvenate that first, then do that, and then do that.
Because a rejuvenated ally, you destroy the top of the card of your life deck.
Okay, they're resolving, of course, an end of combat effect. That's one that at the end of combat you check if the bottom card of your life deck is an ally. If it is, destroy the top 2 cards you put in his life deck.
1 second. I'm turn player.
You're a turn player.
So mine would go first. So mine would go
He's
first.
going to go
So
ahead
1,
and do his
2.
orange
Then
checkup
you do
effect
that,
first.
rejuvenate
It
that,
does matter who
then I do-
initiated the combat because that person will have their end of turn, end of combat effects go off first.
Yep. So then that comes into play. And I can't banish it anymore.
At level 2, you no longer affect allies.
That's super confusing and really clear.
Yeah, and I was just like, wait a second.
Yeah, I was like,
This
before you
has
get too
to,
far.
this has to go a certain way. So
Okay, combat ends, and of course it comes Cliff's turn. His is the kind of deck that does
very
require.
technical decks.
Oh, he has to discard down, he wasn't quite there. Good material to be placed into play.
I was thinking about grabbing Duck because I'm pretty sure I can level up. That's a problem.
Okay, Cliff weighs all the options. He go ahead and ends his turn. He passes, he rejuvenates, a big energy attack.
I play differently than a lot of other people.
He remembers, of course, to power up good old Zarbon and Cell Jr. James begins his turn. He's got a good, healthy amount of attacks in his hand for what it looks like.
Original Lord of the Rings card game.
No.
Oh, that was so fantastic.
Yeah.
Changed my life. I mean, it took 45 minutes to play, but
Play a game.
play a game. Oh, to move either all 9 sides or corrupt or kill Frodo. Oh yeah,
That's ridiculous.
super fun though.
You know what?
Naruto was a lot of fun too.
I played it like once or twice, and I never got to do too much with it.
It was super fun.
For 2 decks that do tend to set up, most of them have minor board presence compared to most of the time you see this sort of thing. Okay, James has what he needs.
I do not.
Go ahead and declare combat. Got Cliff over here grabbing his 3. He does unfortunately grab another ally.
So I'll raise my anger 1.
James opens up with a pretty significant
Plus 4.
significant physical attack.
Here in B. So A to B would be 4. So 8, 9, 10 stages.
Ooh, a 10-stage physical attack. That indeed would be very difficult to manage. Even full stage allies would simply just be done with taking damage at the end of that. Heavens. He may have forgotten to raise his anger because of Zarbon's effect.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I want to.
I think Cliff has maybe forgotten that Zarbon's in
hit
play.
effect. Well, the mastery has to hit effect. There's no reason to. There's absolutely no reason to. So I will not.
Okay, Cliff's debating what to do in order to carry it out in. He does have the ability to discard the ally, but we'll go ahead and see if that's what he goes with.
I'm not exactly having too much problems with that.
Surround. Search my life deck for 2 hours and send you the title. Place me to play a 5/6.
Yeah, he's going to grab some Cell Juniors with, of course, the name card Cell Junior Surrounds. Very handy cards. They can make life very interesting. A few extra stages to work with, but more like the ability to mill them by having them move in and out of play, all that fun stuff.
Kind of glad you did that. Just a little.
Okay, Cell Junior Surrounds leaves the game. They, of course, come into play with better stages than they would normally, because, of course, they do not gain power stages during turns. They don't power up. So starting out at 5 is actually pretty significant.
Yep. And you shuffle.
He's there to shuffle his deck, of course.
Forget that it does shuffle back in. I haven't played against too many Cell Juniors.
Oh, that's right. Cell Junior Surrounds does not banish itself. It shuffles back into the deck after use. There are other cards that are very similar, and I mixed them up just the same as James and Cliff did.
Have seen tournaments at regionals. I ended up playing a Brawly version of this, and it just didn't have the new cards to make it shine like it does now.
James did do that. He went with an orange drill-based Broly that could knock your teeth out while he's at 0 power stages. It's pretty impressive. If you let him set up, you would regret it. Of course, he uses Gohan's power to go ahead and grab the orange extension.
Don't fix it, right? No, I just don't want to waste them all, right off the bat either.
Oh man, I've totally been spacing on Zarbon this entire time.
I only hit you once, yeah.
All right, Cliff caught up.
In all honesty, that was the only thing that hit you. That was it, yeah. It's okay, you don't want to level, because you don't want to have me draw a card. If it makes you feel any better, you need a lot more anger to keep it with what I have in my hand. Yeah. So now it's your go. That is my action.
We'll go Cell Junior's physical attack. Cell Junior for 4 stages.
You're hurting me with that. You're hurting me with that. It's not even like the fact that you.
Okay, he throws, of course, Cell Junior's unstoppable physical by just discarding the ally. It's a whole 4 stages.
Yeah, search my life deck for a card.
He's going to go ahead and pull out an ally in response because it's hit. Whenever you can make an attack unstoppable that has a hit effect, it's just magic. Okay, another Cell Junior comes into play.
Which is going to mill too.
Okay, Cell Junior entering play automatically destroys cards from the top of good old James's life deck.
Yeah, rejuvenate that.
It's only rejuvenate from my vanish zone for mastery.
Oh, yeah. No. When you rejuvenate an ally, destroy the top 2 of your opponent's life deck.
Yeah, I'm searching my life deck for cards.
No. He's going to go into play. But whenever you play an ally, rejuvenate 1. So now you rejuvenate that, now I mill 2.
Okay, of course, James spotted the combo that goes with those 2 about moving the Cell Juniors in and out of play, rejuvenating one of them, causing James' deck to have the top 2 destroyed. It's one of those things. If you have one of these decks that's a little more higher concept, like Cliff's, you're going to have a lot to watch, and that becomes more of a skill than us losers who play just one guy at a time with no allies. Had this happened quite a bit sooner, this would have been a very different game.
Throw the shoulder slam to raise my anger 1 and make me lose 3 anger.
Okay, shoulder slam comes up. That's the anti-anger card. Lowers your anger 3 levels.
You're in C you said, and I'm in T, so that's 4, so 8, 9, 10 stages.
Yeah, that one is a 10-stage physical, and that is very difficult. One of the Cell Juniors takes the first 5 stages. The rest comes out of the life deck, and I believe, unfortunately, just enough endurance is found to avoid a crit. Okay, Zarbon's power goes off. He raises his own. Cliff raises his anger from Zarbon's effect. Goes back over to James. How are you doing over there, James?
Yeah, because I'm early. Okay.
Physical attack.
Okay, he uses blue stretch kick to go ahead and attack good old James. 5 stages. He is stopped with orange refocus. That's the one, of course, that stops physical attack, raises James' anger 1 level, and then go ahead and has him level off that. He is now level 3, and then he's going to go ahead and grab any discarded drills. He probably should still have disaster drills. Should still be discarded.
But of course. But they're plus. So.
Yeah, James is in a pretty significantly good spot. He has the ability to start banishing allies if he should so wish.
You know, cat's pajamas right now.
Catch me out.
So is it?
What? Oh, it's not. Is that? Yeah, it's not broke. So yeah, it's my go now.
Okay, so James is going to play orange extension. He's going to grab a hospitality checkup drill, and he's going to go ahead and grab a style block for his trouble, using, of course, the immediate effects of orange extension. Yeah, you shouldn't waste refocus.
Do I have no? Because I meant the other one. I don't really need a duck. Duck's really not going to help me at this point.
He's going to have to go to refocus.
14 stages.
So this is somewhat of a difficult situation. You know, he would want to pull out one of those particular blocks ahead of schedule, but compared to grabbing the other blocks that are even more situational, yes, he would definitely be better off grabbing refocus. It will have some immediate effects that will get him closer to his ultimate goal.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Orange extension with all the pluses in play is going to be a 13-stage physical. That's more than literally any character could endure. He's got to go ahead and take 8 life cards, even beyond that, what was on the Cell Junior.
Yeah. Zarbon. Get out of here, Zarbon. Let's be fair. He needs to go.
Oh, wow. That was critical damage, and good old Zarbon is targeted, and he is discarded for critical damage.
No, he took an attack. Oh, that's remember? Yes. Yeah.
I knew they were up here for a reason.
And now you go.
Okay, one of the newer energy attacks out of Vengeance is going to be used. I forget exactly what this one does. He's going to go and use it to grab a setup card from his discard pile, which he really should have been using more often. The blue blockade. Oh, he's going to go ahead and place it on top of his life tag.
Yep, I didn't grab I think an energy would come up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow, he took 8 life cards of damage amongst 3 cards. It was very impressive. Now he's going to go ahead and banish several cards from James' discard pile.
So apparently they changed. I just figured I'd let you know this. Apparently they changed him. Like if he's already been banished by an effective yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you can't be essentially double banish. If you can't step a double step. Banish.
Super neat. There has been some errata on that particular Cell Junior there. He's the one that says, upon being banished or leaving play, you can banish him, in turn to destroy cards from your opponent's life deck. The interesting thing, the errata that came along with that was pretty straightforward. It said if an effect is actually in the act of banishing him, and it banishes, you can't simply activate his ability to banish him before that and preempt it and get the benefit of it. If he's banished, it simply takes away your ability to use his own built-in banishing effect. So that's a pretty significant clarification. I'm sure matches could be decided by that at high-level play.
And I'm going to make sure he's leaving play. Banish him to know the top part of your life deck. Oh, that's right.
No, yeah. And that's what we were saying. Because I banish him, so you can't banish him to banish. Right?
That's true.
So 4, 6, 8, 12.
A 12-stage physical, and unfortunately every single player on the Cell Junior side is well at 0.
I should have used it on the last attack.
Oh, he's actually playing Cell Jr.
Unfortunately, Cliff will not survive this particular attack. He does not have the endurance. The match is over. James White has significantly beaten down his opponent. Of course, it was a slow start to Cliff's blue tag Cell Jr. It does show promise. Gohan is the winner. Survival.